Welcome Exiles. Today I want to go over the power of reverse chill. Now to start off with, I'm just going to give you a little demo, see how slow I am, how fast I move, and then once I chill an enemy, all of a sudden I am now a speedy individual. The power of a reverse chill with someone like an Elementalist means you can very easily inflict a 40% chill effect, which is basically 40% action speed reduction, and then you can reverse it with the power of the Winter Weave ring. So now that I kind of demonstrated how much faster it makes you, what you can do with it, I also have Tailwind, I should say that as well. So you're not seeing just 40% action speed, you're probably seeing 48 because I have Tailwind here. Let's talk about how you self-chill your character and what ways you can use it. So there's a few ways to do it, and the main ways are either A, Fulcrum, which is what I'm doing. Fulcrum allows you to inflict elemental ailments on yourself, or elemental ailments you inflict are reflected back to you. So you inflict them on enemies and yourself. And the idea here is we guarantee always reflect chill back to ourselves, as well as shock, ignite, and freeze, and all those other things. The thing with this is you need to have a way to mitigate the ignite, the freeze, and the shock. If you don't solve those problems, Fulcrum is essentially going to kill you. So the way we solve that is by using impulses, which gives us unaffected by shock, and boots, which give us unaffected by ignite. Now you want unaffected by instead of like complete immunity, because you get benefits based on having those ailments on you, so you don't want to just not have the ailments on you. This is the reality of this staff is it's kind of pretty expensive and it's needy, because we not only do we need to have to wear something like an Impulse's chest, we have to wear something like boots with unaffected by shock, which is very expensive. You have to Maven Orb to get this mod, or you just have to get ignited immunity, or you have to play Chieftain. Now those are kind of your options. Now this is great and all, and I think there's potential. I'm probably going to end up switching this to spells at some point. I wanted to start out with some attack like sweep, but from a little bit of testing, the damage is just kind of mediocre, and I'm pretty sure it would be far superior with a spell, because frankly, Fulcrum isn't a great weapon. It only has a little bit of PDPS, and really just switching into a spell, it'll just elevate our initial damage base we're dealing way higher than what Fulcrum can give us here. Now besides Fulcrum, your other option is something like an Ice Fang Orbit, or there's one that also does a similar thing except with bleeds instead of poisons. But the idea here is if you poison an enemy, you can use Golden Rule to reflect the poison back to you, and then that will cause you to be chilled as well. This is the much cheaper way to get self-chills, as well as it's much more versatile. You're not pigeonholed into using impulses, you're not pigeonholed into getting unaffected by ignite. You can be very lenient with what you use your weapon slot and your shield slot or your bow slot for. You have a lot more choices with this type of setup. You don't get life with this ring, but you have a lot more versatility, which can end up paying off in the long run. Simply all you'll need is something like an unaffected by bleed or unaffected by poison. A real cheap unique to get unaffected by poison is Maw of Conquest. There's more expensive, higher budget options, like you can get unaffected by poison boots, I believe. Maybe even unaffected by bleed boots. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's maybe something you can get. Point is, you got a lot more options when it comes to even unaffected by malevolence. Jewels exist. Okay, anyways. Point is, I think to really build around self-chill and the advantages of being very fast because of it, I think there's more options with something like Ice Fang. So I just want to throw this idea out to you guys, because this is what I'm planning to build around, and we'll see if we can make something interesting out of it. I've already put quite a bit of currency into crafting some gear, like these boots, for example, cost us 20x because our first pair broke, thanks to mana and my inability to use Null Orbs correctly. But that's besides the point. Planning to build around self-chill. Maybe you guys can take some ideas from this and apply it to your own builds. Maybe some creative way out there you can abuse self-chill. I just think it's a cool mechanic, and that's what I'm building around for my next character. Real quick, gonna splice this into the video because I forgot to go over it. Why am I building around self-chill? It's because of the new Shaper of Winter. It allows you to chill up to 40% instead of 30%, so that's why you get a bunch of action speed. And also, this is insanely powerful for bosses. The 40% reduced action speed on bosses basically doubles the amount of time you have to react to bosses. It puts them in slow motion, so to speak. It cuts out all their movements in half. It makes them twice as long, so to speak, and it's very, very powerful to build around. So that's what I'm messing around with, along with adding in some ailment effectiveness. We can also get very powerful shocks. I've built into nodes like the Inspired Oppression for increased effect of non-damaging ailments, Astonishing Affliction, stuff like that. We have a little over 100% ailment effect, and then we get some mana regen from those things as well that allows us to build into Chainbreaker. So there's some fun stuff to abuse here with both Ailment Effect and then the powerful Mastermind of Discord plus Heart of Destruction. I think are great nodes. I might try out Bastion of Elements at some point. I haven't really decided, but I'm going to mess around some things. That's why I'm building around Self-Chill. Just wanted to interject that here because I forgot to go over that character. So just wanted to share that with you guys, and peace out there.